Hello and welcome to the Benjamin Zulu Show. Now there are levels to dating. There are levels. And there's also a lot of cunning human beings in that scene as well. So we're going to start off this conversation with a question. And this lady says, now I got pregnant in 2020 by a man who had visited, please underline that, visited my parents and was, underline, proceeding to pay dowry. However, I discovered grave inconsistencies between his character and what he says. I broke it off and left. I knew there was a possibility of being pregnant, but I still walked out. And this is what we're talking about, the levels, Zulu. We're talking about this man, he has committed, and I can relate. There's a time in my life I had said,
open your heart.
There's a time, I was in this long-term relationship, right? I think I've said it a million times here. And I just wanted this man to commit. Don't pay dowry. I just want you, go home. See, you want a baby. Go home. Tell Mr. Mutua, you see that kadot of yours? I have intentions and I will proceed in future to do it right by her. And that is all I wanted at that age. I just wanted, enda ujiseme, report yourself. And when you report yourself, now we can negotiate about a child. But of course he didn't. That's why we are here. So he didn't even do that. So of course.
Let's follow that line.
Yes, please, let's follow it.
What if he did?
I think I would have considered getting a child.
And then?
And it was a very wrong relationship. I should have been in it. And I, at this point, I'd said no. And then I got overwhelmed by that horse, the chariot, the burning one. The all-consuming fire of love. And I was considering such, and I remember I said it, not once, not twice. I said, please imagine you want a child. All we need to do, kwetu, Mr. Mutua, just go report yourself. Say you are interested and your intentions are this and this and this. And I will. But then...
Do you think he would still have stayed and married you?
So the thing that happened is he actually went ahead. Later, before he got to my family, we went to his family. And I was introduced. And a few months later, I was engaged. 1 week later, I had removed the ring. Before we got to the date where, because me had set the rules, I'd be like, before you go to my folks, we go to yours. And then you ask me, before you ask my parents, ask me, engage me, go to my parents. Because me have already agreed, go to the parents, ask them if, so there's a line that I had, yeah? And the moment I got that ring, everything that was wrong about this relationship just
came out now.
I knew it, but I wasn't facing it. The ring, it made me see this is, so imagine if this was happening when I was with a child, would I have left? I don't think so. Maybe I would have stayed in a very bad, maybe I would have been the one left.
Today you are the teacher.
I am.
You have been there.
I have been there.
Because in fact, many people negotiate this way.
Yeah.
It's because they've been this person for a while. I just want them to show seriousness.
And a measurement.
The presumptions are as follows.
Yes.
That made you think him seeing your parents will now prove something. You assume he respects parents as much as you do.
Yes.
In your case, this probably he did.
Yeah.
Because he resisted.
Yeah, it took a while. It was maybe year 7.
There are people who themselves, they'll call your mother that day.
Yes.
They themselves will say, do you think I can be lying to your mother?
Whew.
And who is your mother in this mathematics? Even if you are left today, how will your mother help?
They have their own businesses.
Stop assuming people respect parents like in the days of old.
Mm.
In the days of old, parents, families had a lot of say.
Yes.
In fact, we used to invite people for weddings. The families would invite. Our family, on behalf of, now we're inviting, the families invite for their daughter this, with their son that. Mm. So the two families are inviting you for the event of their children.
Yes.
Today, that's not so. It's the people who invite us with the permission of their blessings of their parents.
Yes.
Now we have moved past the other side.
Yeah.
So it's not the family talking.
No.
No, it's us talking, but we have their blessings.
Yes.
Please, the first presumption is to assume parents still hold authority to control things if they go wrong. It's not right. Things have changed.
Yes, they have.
All right? So these people who you tell the moment you go home, I know you're serious, they will go home and still leave you.
That's true.
Conduct your opinion poll. How many single mothers? Had already had that the person come home.
Yes.
Conduct your own opinion poll. And then you repeat that process with another person, and you're a single mother of 2 children. Today we are preaching self-preservation. And we're not saying you can't always give the guy the child.
Yeah.
Sometimes if they can't be consistent with you, they will not be consistent with the child. You know what kind of human being this is. You don't want to expose your child to that, and you would rather be with the child yourself.
Yes.
If circumstances force, of course, because of economics and all that, you can always, both of you are equally parents, and then of you can take care. So we are not here to heap the burden of the woman alone of the child, but we are saying, having gotten a child and you're the one who does breastfeeding, sometimes you feel mercy for the child because you know that human being.
Yeah.
And you decide to struggle with the child yourself. And there's a time we mentioned, they said, if a person wants to access their child, they should be consistent. They cannot ask, I want to connect my child, but they disappear for 2 months, reappear again. It's not just the mother to struggle with the child, but you're saying sometimes people are staying with the children, with the child, because they know this is a better. And we are saying if a person is disappearing and reappearing, that's damaging to the child. And even if it's before the court, you can explain. This person is hurting and damaging the child by false promises, inconsistent appearances. That alone, any court will understand. They promise, I'll come on Saturday, the child sits there crying, waiting, and you don't show up. I'll bring this, you don't. I'll do this, you don't. That is very damaging to the child. So we're saying, many people who today you see having been left and permanently disorganized. There's a show we did, saying the unfairness of somebody taking you to a place and leaving you there. Conning you and disrupting your path of life.
Yes.
Only to leave you somewhere you don't know where you are. You've never imagined raising a child alone. You're not the kind of person who used to sleep around. You're not that kind of a person. In fact, you kept yourself well. This might be the only person, the first person to know you. It's very inhuman. Finding a person having preserved themselves, the girls who are virgins or who have kept themselves pure, or kept themselves, they have taken their time and resisted all. And when they find that one person who they connect right, let me warn you again, it can be a right connection, but you handle it wrongly. Can meet the right person, but you conduct the relationship wrong and ruin it.
Okay.
Mismanagement of the blessing, you can lose it. Perhaps it was after high prayer. Perhaps it was after faith. Perhaps it was after a lot of searching, following the principles we teach. You met a person whom you rhyme very well.
Yeah.
Sometimes an ill-timed pregnancy can cause a relationship that had future go down. The dynamics. And as I told you, when men are attracted to you, they will feel like having sex. You're the one to put the brakes. And he cannot pester you because you're saying, why are you pestering? You came to me because I've kept my... Now, the same principle, you know, the concept of now we'll still get married anyway. Now I've shown my seriousness. Why are you keeping me hungry?
Yes.
You know, what were you eating before? Why would somebody claim you're starving? These are 34 years old. For all those years, what were they eating? Please, can you stop listening to small surface manipulations? You've known me for a year or so. Now you're blaming me for hunger. You can't tell me, you know, I've been containing myself. Here you are. If you've been containing yourself, why are you containing yourself? For me or for the right time?
Or for yourself even.
You know? Remember, a person who can't control themselves, it also says they can't manage marriage. Self-control is needed outside and inside marriage.
Yes.
You need the virtues of being able to manage your feelings, wait for the right time. And one way that makes you trust me is that I can manage myself and wait. So if a person is pressuring you, what does it tell you? Either they have been doing it with other people.
Yes.
Or the day they'll not be able to get it from you, they'll look for alternatives. And if they start like guilt tripping you, who are you dealing with? Is this a reasonable person? And I mentioned to you, I said, you can be right for each other. But if you mismanage the process, you compromise the outcome.
Yeah.
One way of compromising the outcome is, sometimes it's not even a child, but there's a post I wrote saying, by the time some people get married, they have already lost their fire, they've already changed, they've already backslidden, they've already forfeited their fire, their vine branches, their values. They are no longer themselves. They sought, when during seeking, they were very disciplined and diligent. Do researching.
Yeah.
And when they finally met the person, from the time of meeting the person, time of becoming couple, those months or whatever.
Yeah.
For many people, it's months. By the time you realize the one, the time you're doing it.
Yeah.
When you date right, you don't date for long. Remember that. That time we were talking about whether people should be borrowing each other.
Yeah.
People were saying, and I was telling you, the reason you think it's natural for a man to borrow a woman is wooing man is because you have stayed so long together, you've gotten familiar.
Yes.
And that's how you end up wrong, even if you are so together so long. Because it obscured the parameters of measurement. You measured how many years you were there.
Yeah.
And you are not facing the problem.
No.
When you are dating right, you are looking at signing deals. And when you got the ring, it made you think,
hey.
So now, okay, so now.
Yes.
When you are made to make up your mind, it also forced you to adjust to deal what is not right.
Yeah.
I was telling them, by the time you reach time of borrowing each other, you're already familiar, you've gone too far, extends too much, sexually indulge things, there's no longer structure. The reason you think you can just borrow from a woman you're dating, because you have lost the structure, lost control, lost where you are. So many times if you think by just visiting home, now you can start sleeping together, the following will happen to you. Okay. And you'll only have yourself to blame. As we said, sometimes as a woman you're the one, most importantly, and you also expect the man to have standards.
Yeah.
But you stand to lose more. It's more risky on your side.
Yes.
You're the one to know that I'll only have it after I've signed the papers. I hand over property after we sign papers.
That is true.
Use that for everything else. You all major decisions in life require process, procedure, and prudence. Process, prudence, doing due diligence at every part. It's not that I don't trust you. It's just that I value the process.
Yeah.
And it's good to exercise the longing and the waiting so that we miss each other as we look forward. What are they going to honeymoon to do if they have already done everything? To lose its meaning. Yeah. They have already busted the balloons. You know, it has lost. I want you to start looking how many couples married and they became cold. Before then, this person was buoyant and vibrant with life. They expressed their opinions with conviction. They had standards and the stands they were not going to negotiate about.
Yeah.
They talked about sexual purity, they talked about conviction, they talked about living right, they talked about principles and a disciplined life. They were very clear before.
Yeah.
But after they got married, something got rained on, and invisibly. You know, an agave has been rained on.
Yes.
It has not been burned.
No.
It is still itself.
Yes. But
it's damp. It's
yes.
not what's wrong with that jacket?
Yeah.
It's damp.
Yes.
So your spirit can get damp if you allow leakage. During that time you have met the right person. For people who have lived right, the most testing period is that time now when you're found. How you manage there. And I was writing and telling them, I've seen people who from there on they were never themselves.
Yeah.
Because logically speaking, we're still meant for each other. We're still married anyway. Logically speaking. And perhaps you've already done the pre-wedding or there's something you have done.
Yes. You've already committed to the world.
You could even be having the ring.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, when you calculate what has happened, there's no doubt whether we are marrying. So that's not the question. And I was asking one person, if it is not bad, why are you feeling guilty? Because when you do it before the marriage, you still feel guilty, even if you're done. Why is your conscience disagreeing with you? You may have rationalized against the world.
Yeah.
But where's your conscience against you? Now, when your conscience is convicting, what happens? The guilt becomes a slow puncher from inside. And you lose your conviction and your surety and your confidence. Medically avoid things that affect your confidence. The Bible says, do not lose your confidence, which has great reward. Confidence has a great reward because it allows you to exert yourself and have surety and sure footing. You can't fight at war. In war when you don't have confidence. Even before anybody hit you, you'll have hit yourself. This life is war. Yeah. You need the confidence to show up out there. So what happens, these people, they end up still, you may still end up married. I'm using the other strand of, should you compromise and nobody gets to know, stand up, but it something deflates and you can no longer speak with the conviction. So your values and what you stood for, you lessen, you become more of a compromiser and negotiator. So you take your energy to other things, to work. So you no longer have confidence even to pray. You no longer have even confidence to the values that were upheld and gave you cutting edge.
Yeah.
You abandon them. So these people go on, they become wealthy, all their career succeeds, but they have taken a backstage with matters of character and conviction and values. Because it convicts them. What are you saying, my friend? You've done it yourself. So I was telling people about here, sexual purity, self-control. Your own and so everything dampens. And with time, this person becomes lukewarm in the personal space completely. And they used to be on fire.
Yeah.
And you can't see what went wrong. It's a very quiet puncher. They punch out something. Now, let's come to this group that is open to now having sex because the person visited.
Yeah.
We are saying not everybody after visiting values your family. They'll just vanish. They'll just disappear. They may not, if you don't come from the same village, do they have to lose? They just disappear. Just go to their own. So it's very naive to imagine because they saw your mother or they called your mother.
Yeah.
And they keep, these girls seem honest. Ask them now. So you are talking here but you see they had visited home. So why are we here? Not that they had visited home. It means that you had already put a hook. Use the hook then to get them back. Why is visiting home so important?
Yeah. Then you realize there's no hook.
They're talking like that was all.
Yeah.
You see, Mikali, when we have married and you walk out, I know clearly what I have done, my prudence, and I will have courage to exert recompense, either through divorce or through division of property or something. If I have held myself and done things right, if you walk out on me, I will only have pain, but no grief, no regret.
Yeah.
I will not have guilt myself. So the thing is to say, not everybody respects family. The other problem is there are ladies who have bought this idea of, I don't want to show off. These ceremonies I show off. What matters is whether we are serious.
Commitment of the heart.
It's me and you only.
Yes.
And me, I don't want to show off. And we said, always marry in a ceremony, a marriage ceremony, not a dowry ceremony, not the rashu ceremony, not always get married in a ceremony. For the following 3 powerful reasons. The first reason is that you need a before and after in your mind to know I was single, now I'm married. Also, for the other person, they were single, now they're married. To give you clarity, what are your rights here on? What is your position in my life here on? Who am I here on? Where do I tick boxes? Whether that ceremony is customary meeting at home, everybody knows is marriage. Whether it's civil at attorney general, everybody knows it is. Whether it is wedding in church, everybody knows it is. You need a ceremony. Because you don't get married in a secret. The ceremony contains 2 groups of people. Your family and your friends. If those are not there, it's not ceremony.
Wait.
Please listen to that.
Yes.
Don't come saying, we have been married these 5 years. He has never gone to see my parents. How are you married? If you get stolen at night, you'll be treated like a stolen thing. If you bring yourself, you'll be treated that way.
Yes.
But you see, the second reason you need is because the way you enter things in life dictates the tempo of what will happen inside there.
Okay.
I want you to know that. Starting points force a rhythm. The way, the first impression, the rhythm at which you're getting, the guys who do triple jump, they say accumulate all the rhythm you need before you step the first point. Come running and hop, step, jump.
Yeah.
Marriage, you need to maintain your standards, what you want to happen. It's very hard. They came to me after 12 years, a couple saying now she doesn't know how to fill the forms. Because this guy had never gone, they'd agreed, let's get a child so that when you go, you look serious. People who think that way, we get a child so that your parents will not even refuse. Mikali, this is your life. What? Who are you trying to corner?
It's like you're cornering yourself. You're playing against you.
This is your life. You can't start the journey of your life in such a murky way.
Oh my goodness.
Who are you protesting against? When there's a child, they know we are serious. you are shooting your own foot in that when you rush to pregnancy and child, the other matters you can negotiate. The third reason, I've told you 3 powerful.
Yes.
One is that you need a before and after.
Yes.
Which day and when did I become your husband? What are my rights as your husband? What do I expect? How do you treat other males? How do you behave out there? Who am I? What is my place in your life? If you just sneak somehow, how do I stop flirting? How do I know that I'm really married?
Yes.
How do I relate to the friends? How do we converse around how I involve you in my decision, my money decision? How I divide my time between you and friends? Am I a family man now? At what time do I come home? How are you to dictate my life? Who are you asking me who I was talking to? Who are you? You need a before and after to know what your position, what your rights, what can you ask for, what do you expect. You need a ceremony for you and your mind to know On 14th May.
Crossed over.
Thank you. It can be in church, attorney generals, or customary. Please, ceremony is mandatory. How is it a ceremony? When it has two groups of people. Who and who?
Family and friends. Student number 1.
Make sure. And when you say family, it may not always be parents. You may not have parents, or you may not be in good terms. But there should be a representative of family.
Yes.
You know, friends, you're not an island. People should know now you're married. All right. The second reason, and you always want to remind yourself, you only have a few life-changing decisions. You only have a few milestones of life. You know, the day you graduate and now you're thrown out there to market.
Yes.
The day you get married, maybe the day you get a child, maybe the day you have a property. The things that are life-changing are very few. And you don't want to do them in a sneaky way. No. In a way that nobody knows that it happened. And I told you, a couple came asking, so who am I? It's 12 years here. We have 3 children, but when I'm trying to fill forms in a bank, my marital status.
Yeah. Very confusing. Very confusing.
You know?
Yeah.
And they try to fill and they can't trace. So where are we? What do I write? You know?
Yeah.
And the second reason is that now when you put the cart before the horse, the hunter instincts of men get confused. Men pursue to get. When they get first, the pursuit is no longer exciting.
Okay.
When you maintain the tension, the romantic tension of him trying to achieve you, you maintain the position of him, hunter, you hunted, looking after you, running after you, chasing after you, affection. It allows you to do the following things, which you can never do if you skip it. To set the constitution. After you find the right person, you still need the right rules. I don't know how to put this.
We are sorry, Zulu. Tell us. Hey.
Finding the right person is only the beginning.
Okay.
The tilting of this point and the other one, and the rules and the other. Listen, you need the rules about how many children. People are disagreeing over, I only want 1 children.
Yeah.
1 child. Me, I want more. Me, I want this. You can't discuss that when you're already pregnant. Please.
Okay.
Even the naming of the children or who will babysit, some conversations are critical. And they can only be held in the negotiation table. Yeah. Not crisis table. Not crisis room. When you get pregnant, it's a crisis management. Whew. It's not negotiations.
Yes.
You need to be rescued quickly lest something blows up. Yeah. Especially if you had a reputation for being a person who lived straight. John and Wamuhu, trying to hide the thing quickly. Another area of discussion is money, how we'll behave around money.
Yeah.
Another area of discussion is, had you made up your mind to marry? There are other issues of constitution, like, where do we live? Are we going to build in your mother's compound? What kind of stress and strife should we be opening ourselves to? You hear weird statements later. If you went in through pregnancy because you had visited home, our family will always build there. Don't separate me with my people. You know, you hear things. My mother is my first confidant. We had discussed with my mother before I bought that land. No, we took a loan with my brother. You know, no, we have agreed. Those children are spending holiday with their auntie, my sister. We'd already discussed with her. In fact, they're being waited for. Dispatch them now. You'll hear things that will prick you to the nerve.
Oh, I feel like my heart is broken.
You hear things that may not be directly, an outsider may not see.
Yeah.
Then there's a niece of mine arriving there. She'll be there for 2 months as she waits to join college. That's how we operate. We help each other as a family. I hope you don't want to interfere with how we live. My mother is coming to babysit for 2 months because you're 2 months due. That's how our mothers do in our culture.
Do I get to say anything ever?
Because you put the cart before the horse.
Okay.
So the second reason you need a ceremony is because when you know we are going to sign up, there are issues we need to discuss before we sign up. Now you can call me to a table. Before that day, can we talk about a few things?
Yeah.
Number one, what's the culture around your home around babies being shaved and hair being thrown in the wind and the east and the grandma pronouncing and speaking? You need some things.
You need to know.
For me, I would rather my child dedicated in church.
Yes. And
families will just appreciate. We'll visit parents and appreciate them and celebrate our child. But I don't want any rituals. They say, that's very important. Let me hear whether my mom will agree to. Thank you. Go and negotiate and come. You have time to negotiate.
Absolutely. That
And
is
then
so true.
me, I'll wreck my house. I want my own compound. Tend to have my chicken without fighting the other person's chicken, and we have to fight because our chicken fought.
You have to mark their claws.
You know, I prefer to have my own. So you have a ceremony so that you can negotiate before you buy.
Yeah.
It's very critical. And the last one we'll discuss. Some of these conversations are so long, but we can
I
only
know.
do.
I'm here taking notes for myself.
You know, if you take the attending home and seeing parents to be the determinant ceremony, you can combine all the ceremonies together then.
Okay.
Instead of saying just come, then we'll marry later. In fact, you can organize all of them and make them one. You can say, we want to do our things in 1 month. So first week of that month, they'll come and report. Then the midweek, we'll bring this and this and this, the down payment of the dowry, and then we get married. So when you come, you guys join us as a couple. You can do it customarily that way.
Yeah.
Do you know what it will force you to do? It would not know that the end has come. It will tell your mind the same thing we say.
Yeah.
Closure time.
Yes.
It will ask you, Mikali, are you ready now to compose yourself to be a wife? It will force you to think about the critical questions. I told you that men especially must go through a baptism of stopping to hit on women and tame their passions at home.
Yeah.
It may sound easy, but it's hard. It may sound that it doesn't come naturally, and there are people who end up straying because they did not tell their minds, we have arrived. Stop wandering. Those roaming. From the time a guy is born, he was never really taught to stay with one woman for 10 years. He was used to this colleague, the other one, this, the other one, the other one. Flirting, chatting, easy. Now those flirting, chatting is wrong.
Yes.
Boundaries are being imposed. If he does not baptize his mind, training to confine himself. And many times it involves just not texting, just not chatting, just not responding. You learn some things about gentlemen that we block people who have not done us any wrong. Part of being a husband, which they don't tell you when you're in church.
Yes. You are master blockers. Block.
You block people you like and they have not offended you.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
To stop the chatty. And to close so that they don't see the room being open.
Yeah.
There's a group called Married But Available. Sometimes you can...
Available to what?
Yes, the people behave
Still
available, although they're already married. And the risk is, once we marry, we start gathering resources and respect, and hopefully we do marriage right and you have the blessings of God. Economically, we are growing. There are people who don't mind a slice of your money, a place, something. They'll be very happy to chat here and get some money today.
Yes.
Get something tomorrow. The people, and they're not bad people. They're not bad people. They just know you can send 2K today. They have a station. They know they can borrow money every now and then. So I want to keep that flatty. So there are times you are going to shut communications, not for any offense, but to protect the boundaries. Again, the reasoning is, after you marry in a ceremony, you impose a fence around each other. A fence. A reason to offend other people, to protect myself from offending my family, offending my union, my relationship, is to say, I develop a reason now to safeguard. When you see married men staying in their cars with windows up, Billy Graham had a covenant with his three colleagues that they will never be in the same room with a woman in the dark, or even not in the dark, they just avoid. So he would arrive at home when it's raining and it's night, he was to meet, but he realized the friend is not home. The wife is home. He won't get out of the car. The guy is coming, I'll wait in the car. Covenant. So when you marry, the ceremony allows me to impose now covenants of boundaries, that may seem maybe excessive to a person who does not understand the covenant of marriage and how we keep our vessels safeguarded. I needed that ceremony to impose the baptism. Yes.
You know, I have my take homes, and I think it's important if you're in a space where you are looking to probably date in the near future, for you to get this information. I saw some comments on this conversation saying, this is what I needed to save my life from being the wreck that it was. Where were you when 4 years ago when I was going through this and I did not know this. And this just goes ahead to affirm that these are needed conversations. So you need a ceremony, like a proper one, to know I was Mary Mwekalimutua, now I am Mrs. On the date of. So just that date, and that is why people celebrate their anniversaries. And then you also need to create your own constitution. This happens before you get married, before you get that child, before. Because you have the same level of, you know, you're on the same level with the other person. In terms of, I can say I want this, I need this, I can compromise on this because I understand it makes sense to you. You know, can I do that? But you cannot be sort of like put in a situation where you are not able to make decisions because, I mean, you skipped the constitution. Those, for me, are my take-homes. I don't know what yours are, but please, down below our comment section, tuambie, what are your take-homes from this conversation? That's all we have for you today. Adios.